Video. All right. So today, instead of us going over, I know on the calendar it said we're going to do financial planning today. Financial planning is like one of the most boring parts that people take of the course because that's budgeting and stuff. But that's the foundation, right? That's important. But I got some stuff in storage out for that I want to make sure that I add in so y'all get the ultimate value. So I got some plays with some banks and stuff like that, partnerships that I created that's gonna be able to help y'all out when it comes to the loan process and everything like that. Now, with that being said, before we get to the going to go get the loans through the banks and dealing with all those situations and having that, there's some major things that we want to start working on when it comes to our credit profile. So if you ever heard me get on social media and say your credit score doesn't matter, a lot of times it has to do with your actual profile. And I don't know if y'all post y'all a drink or not, but this mentorship, we sip and we tip at the same time already. So look, what we're gonna go through is adding positive items to the credit profile. That's the main key. That's what makes your credit profile strong, because think about you having a clear credit profile and me putting you on my credit card as an authorized user, and your score automatically goes up to 700 points. So a lot of people will call me and say, hey, I got a 720 credit score. How can I get funded? And then I say, well, let me see the credit report. Then we look at the credit report. Depending on what's on that credit report is going to determine if these banks are going to approve you or not. So you have to have a mixture of items on your credit profile to make you more fundable. That's the key. You got to have a mixture. So if I'm going to go get an auto loan, then it'll be best for me to have some type of auto trade line on my credit profile. If I'm going to go get a personal loan, then it'll be best for me to have some type of personal loan on my credit profile. Same thing with credit cards. So I'm about to show you, and a lot of people say this, they say, well, I went to apply for this, so I tried to apply for this credit card, apply for this, and they just keep denying me. Mm-hmm. Because you can't just go right off the rip and go try to get an American Express Platinum card. It does not work like that. You have to literally build up your profile. So in order to build that profile, I'm going to show you the builder account that we're going to add on. So now when you do go and apply for credit cards, whether it's a starter card or not, it's going to allow you to have your credit profile to the point where you can get those approvals. And then when we go over the personal funding section, which is the personal funding going to be a major moneymaker for y'all. Like even if you decide to be get into the credit business, or you just do it on the personal side from people that you know, your direct contacts coming in and saying, hey, can you help me get some money? Or, hey, let me look at your credit profile, and you can get people funding, and you're charging 10% on $50,000 to $100,000, $250,000, just depending on who the person is you're dealing with. And you can be running that up every month, like crazy. So that's what's going to help you elevate your whole game, besides getting a bunch of customers for credit repair, or getting a bunch of customers just to do the credit building and stuff like that. Because what I'm teaching y'all today, and I'm doing this preface because this is important. I want y'all to understand this. You're going to get this game. It's going to allow you to put your own credit in a good position. But that's not how you're going to get the bag. You're going to get the bag by putting other people in position and showing other people how to do the same thing. So this course right here, just alone, you can say, hey, I can show you how to build your credit up. Not even working on your credit, no credit repair involved at this point. Let me just show you how to build it up. And I'm going to charge you $250, $500, $1,000. This game is really worth a whole lot. But you're going to be able to show them how to put the items on their credit profile and then go get these people funded so that you can get, an additional bag.
All right.
But let's jump into the first thing. Okay, why is positive accounts important to your credit profile? For one, I don't care if you got one item on your credit report, you will not get approved without any positive items on your credit profile. See, some people actually have a credit score because they have student loans, and the student loans might be behind. You can be on child support and have a credit score, and been paying good sometimes and sometimes not, but having positive accounts. It's also called a trade line, positive accounts. You got primary and you got secondary. Primary is accounts that are actually in your name. So you want to make sure that we want to add as many positive accounts that we can to our credit profile. So when we do go and get funded, when a lender looks at your credit report and they say, okay, well, this person has multiple accounts that show they pay on time, every time, So it's going to be showing your payment history. Also, what these positive accounts are going to do is going to lower your interest rate. I remember first going to go get a car from Capital One, and the interest rate was like 17% on this vehicle, right? But of course, you know, I had just came from being incarcerated, so I had to go ahead and just get whatever I could get. But it was a nice car, but the interest rate was hit. Even though the payments worked out just to fit my budget, but now after I began to continue to build my credit, I started to realize, oh, now I go to the car lot and get a car that's double that amount, and the interest rate is like 3%. You know, so that's crazy. So, but that's because I had multiple positive accounts on my credit profile now. So that's what's going to allow you to get a lower interest rate. And once you learn how to calculate interest and we start going into that, you're going to realize that interest rate really does matter. It's the difference between paying $5,000 for a loan or paying $15,000 for it, which that extra 10K that you just spent over with a bad interest rate could be used to put into another whole nother asset and investment. Adding these positive accounts are going to allow you to build your credit month by month. So the more positive accounts you have every single month, your score is going to go up. And I'm going to give you an example on what I mean by that. Your payment history represents like 35% of your credit score. If I got 100 different loans, if I got 10 different loans on my credit profile, every month when I pay those, if let's say I miss one of those loans, one of those payments, now my credit history isn't, now my payment history isn't 100%, it's 90%. See what I'm saying? So now if I got 10 accounts on there, and now let's say you pay those accounts for 10 months, you got 100% payment history, you miss one payment. Now it doesn't take your payment down to your payment history down to 90%, only because it's out of 100 different payments. So if you go on your Credit Karma, so it's going to show you how many on-time payments you had over the period of your credit history. The more on-time payments you have, the more accounts you have, the more on-time payments you get every month, which makes it harder for your score to be affected if you do happen to miss a payment or life happens or whatever, right? Because sometimes stuff can happen. So if you got 100% payment history, but that's what 1,000 payments that you made, and you just so happen to forget a payment, didn't put something on auto pay, whatever the situation may be, now your payment history can go down to 99% versus from 100 to 90 or from 100 to 70. So that's why you want to make sure you have multiple accounts, because with only 5 accounts, one missed payment, that's automatic. That's 20% gone of your 100% that you had. So, you know, that's the thing that we don't want to mess up. Like, that's the key to getting funding and everything. I don't care if you got to make the minimum payments on something. We want to do that, but we'll get into that more on the financial literacy side of it. Underwriting guidelines. Credit lending companies are going to look at certain guidelines, such as how many positive accounts do they have, how long have they had these accounts, what is the amount of the accounts that they've already got loans on, stuff like that. There's certain qualifications that they're going to look at automatically in their system, because most of the stuff we're going to do outside of business until we get to the business funding side is just going to be straight going online, filling out an application. It's going to go through an artificial intelligence program that they have set up, and that's literally going to let you know if you're approved within a snap of your fingers just by clicking process. If you don't meet one of those qualifications, one of those qualifications is having enough trade lines, enough positive accounts in your credit profile, then you're disqualifying yourself. So you just having 4 accounts when you should have had 5, and you're like, man, I got an 800 credit score. Why didn't they approve me? It's because you only had 4 credit accounts when they wanted you to have 5. So I know for sure that the best credit profile to get to an 850, a perfect credit score, you need between 10 and 12 accounts. I'm gonna just say that, you know, 10 to 12 accounts. So that's why I'm about to give y'all the game on how you can add these accounts like straight to your credit profile. So even if you don't have an extensive credit history, because that's something that a trade line can actually help you do too, authorized user trade lines to get that history on there. If you don't have that history, you put all these accounts on there, drop you a trade line on there, and then that's literally going to give you the history that you need. Now, since we ain't got too many people turning out, I guess they're gonna be looking for the recording. I wanted to say this to everybody at once. But if y'all not aware, I did say that I was gonna give out, I had something special for everybody, you know, that was gonna be joining this mentor. The one thing that is I have access to, and we're gonna get to it, rent reporters, but I'm gonna be giving y'all that rent reporters trade line for free, which I charge like $400 for those. So you've already like won, like you're already winning with this. All you have to do is pay like the $40 or something to set with the actual company to set the account up. But I'm gonna be giving that to y'all for free. Anybody that need it, this is gonna be an automatic 40 to 70 point jump in your credit score. Oh, really? So just know this is from day one, you're gonna be able to increase your credit score just off of that. So first type of lending we want to talk about, and I know we see this, people see this one here all the time. You got secure loans. Now we've always heard of going to the bank and opening up, getting a loan, getting a secured loan or a secured credit card, which that's definitely fine. Secured credit cards is a different thing, and we're going to get into that next. But two companies that I know for sure that I've used myself and I use with multiple clients is Self-Lender and Credit Strong. Credit Strong also right now has a program to where they'll allow you to add a secure loan to your business credit profile as well, which is going to be very important because business is going to be able to get you multiple avenues of funding. Now, credit unions are a bank. That's whatever bank you deal with, and I'm going to give y'all a list of different banks you can go to, but any credit unions, you have a higher probability of getting approved because they have a smaller customer base and they're more consumer friendly when it comes to lending out money. So, of course, we've all heard of Navy Federal, but you got Credit Union of Texas. There's a lot of different credit unions, PenFed, and we're going to get into some real game at the end of these slides on those places. But you want to go open up you a secured loan. I don't care if it's $500. Some banks don't do it as much as the other ones. Some of the major banks, most of the major banks still do it, credit unions. But what Self-Lender and Credit Strong does is it allows you to add this stuff to your credit profile, but you don't have to put the $500 or the $1,000 up. It actually lends you the $500 or $1,000, but it puts it in a CD. And then it takes out $25, $15 a month, whatever fits your budget. It takes that out every month. And then at the end of whether you do 12 or 24 month plan, you actually get that money back plus interest. And within 6 months of you paying those, Self-Lender actually gives you the option to have a secured credit card, which I really don't recommend taking their secured credit card because I'm gonna show y'all some plays to make some money. If you're gonna get a secured credit card, go get you a secured credit card and drop $5,000 to $10,000 on there. And I'm gonna show y'all how to get the $5,000 to $10,000 you don't already have it to put it on the credit card. Because now when you go apply for credit cards, they're gonna base that off of your old history. So you don't want to go have a 2-year or $200 credit card, right? And then you go apply for a credit card, and I'm gonna show you how we fill out these applications. And then they look at they're going off your history and they say, why would I give Corey a $10,000, $20,000 credit card? And I see right here on his credit profile that he's only had a $200 secured card for like 6 months. That's a big jump. Even if you know how to fill out the application, even if you did put all the trade lines and stuff that need to be on your business, that secured credit card is literally one of those underwriting guidelines where it's looking at your longest credit card you had, and it's looking at the highest limit that you got. But if you're dealing with clients, because secured credit cards can play a part when it comes to getting certain type, like I say, these are some of the banks. You got First Progress, you got Discover It, of course your credit union, then you got Capital One. So all these companies let you get secured credit cards that you can pay on and pretty much set it up. I would say if you're gonna do it, go with your credit union. Capital One is a good one if you just want to get a credit card and start building some history. It's all about your plan and your strategy on what you're trying to do. Everybody's doesn't want to go get funded $100,000, $250,000. Some people just want to get them a nice vehicle, get approved for a home, different stuff like that. But whatever that play may be will depend on if you go get the secured credit card. Now, but if you want to have multiple credit cards that you can literally always fall back on, which I always tell people, you never know when the economy will switch over, when some stuff will happen. We're going to go through manufacturer spending in our credit card mastery class, and I'm going to show you how to take all that money off the credit card where you don't have to just go buy stuff, where you can literally take the money out. So if you need to get $100K cash, I'm gonna show you how you actually do that. So if you want to be able to have access to that type of funds versus going and applying for another loan from a bank, it's harder to get a loan than it is to get a credit card. But secured credit cards is, like I say, I have to put it in here because I got to give you all the game all the way around the board. But if you're not going to go get a high limit secured credit card, I wouldn't suggest just going out getting one. Does anybody got any questions so far before we move forward to the next slide?
No.
Okay, cool. Alternative lines. Rent Reporters, Credit My Rent, Rental Karma. These, and every line that we're talking about is a primary trade line. So you're not going on anybody else's card. You're not going merging your credit profile with anybody else's. This is actually a primary account. So I'm pretty sure you know that you got a FICO score and you have what you call a Vantage 3.0 score, right? The FICO score is what's mainly used by lenders to decide and assess if they're going to approve you or not. That's why Credit Karma, your score on Credit Karma can say 750. Then you go to Experian and you pull your credit report, and then it tells you that your score is a 650. That's why the profile matters, because having these lines, as many trades, and your score is a 650, your profile looks way stronger than somebody that has a 750 with one trade line on it, just made the score go up like that. But with the rent reporters, like I say, this does is it adds rental history to your credit profile. This is a major plug that I have where I allow my clients to be able to get approved for homes easier, because when you put rent reporters on a credit profile, when the mortgage companies and the mortgage lenders look at your credit profile, they're seeing that you've been paying rent for the last, it dates back to 4 years, but it shows the last 2 years of history. So it'll be a 4-year-old account, and it'll show 2 years of perfect payment history. Now, you can always go to your landlord if you're renting and say, hey, can you report this information? I gave them your information. Most landlords, they don't be on it like that unless you just got a one-on-one relationship with a landlord. If it's like a big apartment complex or a big rental company for houses, it's kind of hard to get them to go ahead and verify everything that needs to be done. That's the thing. Plus, depending on what your rent is, the plug that I got for you, because I've created these partnerships with mortgage companies and so on and so forth, I can get it to where now you have a rental trade line reporting to your credit that may say you've been paying $2,500, $3,000 a month for the last 2 years. You know what that's going to do to your credit? That's going to shoot your credit up, and it's going to make it whole. It's going to make your profile strong. So, whenever y'all, if you do need that, anybody that's on the call tonight, or anybody that's listening to it, just reach out to me via Messenger or something like that, and just say, hey, I want to get that trade line. Let me know, and I'll get it set up for you and get you all the information you need whenever you go on these sites and pay for it. Now, you can go to rent reporters. That's going to add one trade line. But you can also add it to Credit My Rent and Rental Karma. That's literally 3 different places that'll report the same thing, but that's 3 trade lines right there. So let's just say you did add Self-Lender, Credit Strong, and you added these 3 rent reporters. That's like 5 accounts already, positive accounts added to your credit profile. So they used to have accounts called My Jewelers Club, but that one got shut down. They're always going to have credit builder companies where it makes it like you go on there and you buy a piece of jewelry, and then they add like a $5,000 trade line to your credit profile. They got shut down. Another one is called Crown Jewelers, right? Crown Jewelers is a company that you can use. Ox Publishing, Vital Card. These are out, and then Experian Boost, because the rent reporter stuff, it only reports to TransUnion and Equifax. So you go in and go to use Experian Boost to pretty much balance that out, because you want your Experian score to go up as well. So you go in and add Experian Boost. That could be your light bill, your phone bill, something that you're paying that you got in your night that's coming out of your bank account or something, to just add that extra effect to your Experian credit score, because the rent reporters is one of the strongest ones I know for sure as a primary account outside of the secure loan. Once it's paid, that's going to boost your score. So you want to go to Experian Boost if you can and add some stuff on there. Now, the secure loan stuff too, because I forgot to tell you this, on the secure loan part, whenever you put the money in there and they give you the money back, don't go and spend that money. Keep that money, because you can literally add multiple accounts to the secure loans if y'all don't already know. You can literally take that, you go put $3,000 in your savings account. They give you they give you the $3,000 cash. Take that $3,000 right back and go to another bank and do the same thing. That way, and then take that same money to pay it all off, and they're all backed up by the money that's already in the account. So now if you got 3 $2,000 loans or $3,000 loans or whatever you put on in a secure loan, pay it off on your credit report within a 90-day period, because that's how long you want to leave it on there. That way it has some type of history on it. Then you're setting yourself up to be able to go to these banks and get money. You're setting yourself up to put yourself in a position to where, the percentage of Americans that actually pay off loans. How many that's paid off, not still paying on them, but actually paid them off. So once you do that, you're putting yourself, because you have what you call a bank rate score as well. You got a credit score, you got a bank rate score. Your bank rate score So just know that, we want to keep our history with those banks good, keep those balances positive in those accounts. If you do already have bad like banking history with a bank or something like that, then just open up another account. We're going to talk about that in the next class, but just open up another account with the same bank. So when you do go and you apply for something, you can use that bank account information versus a bank account that already has, negative history and stuff like that. But these companies, like I say, Ox Publishing, they got all type of different books and different stuff like that. You can program software, different stuff you can purchase. But it's like they're all cheap. They're all not like expensive. This is all stuff that you don't have to pay a lot of money for, just to add the lines to your credit profile. That's the key. Just adding the lines to the credit profile. Now, this method right here to get a nice card, a nice trade line to your credit report. I haven't done this method in quite some time. It does still work for Victoria's Secret. I got to get the companies I got to remember the company, because I have people that go through the class that they've ran it and they've got cards. Express, it's a clothing line called Express. They actually do it too. But this is called the shopping cart method. So pretty much what you're doing is you can apply for a store card. Some people say, hey, don't apply for store card, but do you know the store cards actually gives you, it's still a trade line on your credit profile, especially if you know that you're going to go shop at this place, or you're going to go shop at these different stores or something like that, or you know somebody to shop at, just tell them, hey, let me use my credit card to go do it, and just pay me the cash, if you got that type of relationship with somebody. But it's a simple method. Clear all the browsing history on your computer, the cookies, the cache, you just clear all that out. Or you can go to incognito mode, whichever one you want to do, but you clear it out. The reason being because if I shop at Express, I've already been on their website on my computer. So when I go log into the website on my computer, they're gonna already know that I'm a returning customer, because all the cookies and stuff is already put in place. So they're not gonna give me the same offer that they're gonna give somebody that just jumped on and just started using their company. So you're gonna create your store account, stuff like that. You definitely want to do that. If they ask you to subscribe to the email, you want to do that as well, because sometimes this doesn't automatically, come up, but for the most part it will. But if it doesn't, they'll send it to you in the email. Now, you also want to cut your pop-up blocker off on your computer. You want to cut it off, because you don't want the pop-up, because it's going to show up as a pop-up, and what you don't want is to miss it because your pop-up blocker is off. So cut it, pretty much take that off, so it can pop up if this happens. All you're doing is going into this website, this store that you like, and you're online, and you're shopping for items, at least $100. Sometimes if it doesn't pop up, then if it's $100, then add something else to your shopping cart up to like $150 or something like that. So when you start to check out, when you're going through the pop-up thing, you start to check out, it's going to ask you, it'll pop up and say, hey, how would you like to apply for store credit? And I'm pretty sure some of you probably already been on websites or companies where you've seen this happen before. And if you have, then you got a store that you can go to and use. When it asks you for that, only give them the last 4 of your social. If any application that you ever fill out, I don't care if it's for the shopping cart, I don't care what it's for, that they ever ask for more than the last 4 of your social, it's going to be a hard pull to your credit profile, which means it's going to be an inquiry. You don't want an inquiry for getting some positive items added to your credit, not right now. Everything I already showed you right now is not going to give you an inquiry unless the bank that you're going to go open up with decides to do a hard pull, but a lot of banks don't really do a hard pull neither. So don't give anything. If they ask for more than that, the last 4, don't put it in, try another store. You put the last 4 of your social in, you fill out the app, put the last 4 of your social in, it'll actually give you access to a store credit card. So if they do say, hey, here's $500, you purchased something for $150, but we're giving you $500 store credit, and like I say, if you shop there, you can continue to shop there, spend that money, and then still go and ask for a limit increase as well, because you got some store cards that go all the way up to $5,000, $10,000 lines of credit, which now, as you're building this up, something that you already spent money on, you're putting yourself in a position to where when you go apply for credit cards, because the system, when your credit report system, when you put your information in these lenders database, it's just looking at that as a credit card. It's not seeing, oh, this is a store card, because a lot of store cards are actually approved by Synchrony Bank, which means that, and Synchrony is a major bank that you're going to be able to go and get credit cards from. So they're seeing this, and they're literally going to, oh, that's a credit card for $5,000 that they've got on here. It goes through the system. It gets you approved for high amounts of credit cards. Now, this right here, this site is called swapalease.com, right? Swapalease.com. Have anybody on here ever heard of Swapalease? Okay, look. Swapalease pretty much allows you to get cars, right? Without having to have the best credit score. With cars, you can get cars without having the best credit score anyways, but it allows you to get cars. But this is the thing. Let's say you go on Swapalease and you see a vehicle for, hold on one second. Let me go over here. I might take you to Swapalease real quick. One second. Right. Okay, are y'all able to see the screen right now where we're at Swapalease?
Yes.
Okay. So when I go to the luxury car hack, it's going to show y'all some other stuff on there too. But this is what Swapalease is. So let's just say we're looking at BMWs. They got a lot of BMWs on here, right? Search BMWs. And we're gonna dig deep into this site when we get to the luxury car and car rental stuff. But just to give y'all an example on what we're looking at right here. So let's see here. We're gonna go to 6 months remaining. We want to do 0 to 12 months remaining because we don't want to put ourselves in a long-term lease or something like that. Now, this is a way you can make some money through this process as well too. But do you see this car right here? It's a 2021 BMW i3. It's $279 a month for 8 months. There's 8 months left on that. Then you got a 2023 series for $243 a month. The reason this is so cheap because what you're doing is you're taking over somebody else's lease. Somebody may have already had this car for a long term on a lease, and this is what they have. These are the months that are left remaining on this lease. Now you see the mileage is kind of low on some of these. Like that one is 1,300 miles per month. This one is $899. Some people come on and buy these cars. That's why you see them saying sold up there in the top corner. But then you have some that's not. 2021 BMW 3 Series, $433 a month. How is this beneficial? For one, you can literally take this car. You used to be able to rent the car out, but you still can, honestly. But if you rent a car out that's on a lease, which is breaking the lease policy, and something happens, then you're going to be liable. And they possibly could sue you for that. So I'm not going to recommend that you go out and rent out a swap lease car. But you can take your own car and you can rent that car out, and then you can go on here and get you an even nicer car that you're paying this amount for, and the car that you already have literally will be paying for both cars. And you use this for marketing purposes. So when you're telling people, hey, I can help you get into a car, whatever your business is, and use it in some of your videos and your advertisements. Now you can write that monthly payment that you're doing. You can write that off when it comes to your taxes as well, because it's literally for marketing purposes. Now, there's more to it when it comes to taxes, but that's something that you can definitely write off. But the main thing I'm trying to get the point across is this car. Let's say this 2021 2 Series is $451 per month, right? For 11 months. So 451 times 11. It's 49.61, right? That's how much you'll be required to pay. I mean, that's how much you would need to get approved for in order to get this car. So this car may be $30,000, $40,000, but so with a new credit profile, of course, you may not get approved for that much, but you can definitely get approved for the pretty much $5,000 with adding the other positive stuff that we'd already talked about adding to your credit, because it's only 11 months. So you only have to be able to get approved for that amount. But what happens is you're adding a positive item to your credit, and that's going to show up on your credit, but the car is going to show up as the actual value of the car, even though you only have to get approved for this amount, because it's going to show you the actual amount that the car is valued at. So when you go get another car, then they're going to see this. When you get ready to go get from a BMW going to a Bentley or whatever the next tier is, you're going to be able to go and get that car, because they're going to say, oh, you paid off a 2021 BMW 2 Series, even though you didn't go buy the car brand new, you just took over somebody else's lease and finished the lease. Mm-hmm. Another important thing you can look on to, and well, never mind, I'll go into that when we get to the actual car section. But yes, this is something that you can also use to add a positive item to your credit profile, and it also can become a write-off. It also can become something that you can use for marketing. And if you just want to have your brand new car or a newer car than what you already got, or another car, however you want to do it, then you got that option just by going to this site right here. And they got other ones like Lease Trader and stuff that do similar things. But this is definitely one that's for the books right here that I would definitely recommend if you need a new car, or if you just want to rent your other car out and add some extra income to your credit profile. So that's pretty much the swap or lease, the building the credit. Now, obtaining a bank loan, right? Once you add these items to your credit profile, and your credit profile is pretty much strong now you're able to go in and to the bank after you paid this stuff off and say, hey, I need to borrow X amount of dollars. I need to borrow. If you put $2,000 onto your secured loans and stuff like that, and you paid it off, and that's on multiple loans, you can go into the bank and say, hey, can I borrow? I want to borrow a secured, unsecured loan for $5,000 to $10,000, just depending on what your income is, But you can definitely do that, and this actually helps you build your credit even more for when you go to get business, because when we add and merge the business profile to it, it's going to take you to a whole nother level. But you can definitely go get loans. But I'm going to tell you this: most banks aren't really into the business of giving consumers, this is on the personal side, large loans. That's like a bulk of cash at one time. They rather give you a revolving line of credit, which is a credit card or line of credit or something like that, so that you can just take it out as you need it, which actually you get more money doing that than you would get on a loan anyways. But if this is going to help you be able to obtain a bank loan, excellent payment history, you want to have that. But Navy Federal also has something that's called the pledge loan, and that's pretty much a secured loan that Navy Federal does. But if y'all already know, Navy Federal is a good bank. I'm not going to say it's one of the best anymore, because I've dealt with them quite a minute now. But they are a good bank, And you can go set up the pledge loan with them, and then after you got all this other stuff set up, and you go get and apply for a credit card after you did that, you're pretty much guaranteed from 5 to 10. I'm gonna say 10. I've seen some people get like $2,000 and $5,000 that we've done, but for the most part, I'm seeing like $10,000, $15,000 Navy Federal giving people for their first credit card. So if you have that, that's why when you have that on your Navy Federal credit card and you want to apply for other lenders, they don't even, they factor in Navy Federal's credit card limit, but they don't put too much factoring into it. So the simple fact, everybody know Navy Federal gives up the bag, right? So that's just how that is, but that allows you to obtain that loan. Now, those are just the credit building, the stuff that you want to add to the credit profile, right? I'm about to give y'all some plays now that you can literally use, some companies that you can literally go to start, after you build it up, to go and apply to get you some cash in your pocket. It's called a conversion loan. Of course, Navy Federal, everybody talks about Navy Federal, but they switched the game up a little bit. They used to be one of the players, the banks that just, they're going to give it to you off the muscle. Whether you got a 650 credit score, you can almost guarantee that you'll get a loan, which is an auto conversion loan through Navy Federal, right? How that works is you pretty much go on their site and apply for an auto loan, depending on what your credit already is, depending on what type of automobiles you've already had on your credit, which is why I say if you have the swap-a-lease trade line, or you already have a car that's paid off on your credit, you have a way higher chance of getting approved than not having that. Or if you do have a vehicle on your credit, if it's almost paid off, or if the income is right, because you can always get up to 2 cars on your credit profile without the banks, like, red flagging or being something that crosses their guidelines. So all you do is you're applying for an auto loan, and you're applying for that loan from a private lender, right? You apply for that loan like you're buying it from a private lender, and then whoever that private lender is, it allows you to pretty much write a check in their name. Now, what Navy Federal has been doing, depending on your credit score, instead of them just approving you and giving you the check, and you taking the check and giving it to that person, and they cash it, and then you paying them something to cash the check or whatever, now they're requiring you to show them title, because so many people are doing this and so many people are not paying back the money, which messes up the play, right? So the plays are always going to be going on, but this is one of the banks that they're still good with certain customers if you had an account with them for a long time. But if you haven't had an account with them for a long time, or there still might be a little more strict on the credit profile part of the stuff, but try to get your score as high as possible, go in, and that's a play you can run. I always used to call it the 50K play, just based on the average person's credit profile and the car that they haven't ever paid off a car. You can easily go in and get $30,000, $25,000, $30,000 off of this. But since we know that Navy Federal doesn't always come through like they need to, you also got other banks that does the same thing that doesn't require all this information. One of these banks is called LightStream. Have y'all heard of Truist Bank? Well, I'm pretty sure we've all heard of Truist Bank, right? Truist Bank is the bank that actually owns LightStream. They own SunTrust. They bought all those companies, so they're all pretty much in the same atmosphere, those banks. But LightStream, you go on, you apply, and I'll be sending you out, because every class, which I didn't tell y'all already, every class I send you over like a to-do list, with all the links and stuff to everything that we talked about, so on and so forth. So you don't have to go and scramble to try to go click this website and do that. I just got it already ready. But LightStream, what you do is you're going to go into LightStream. You're going to be applying for a private. You're going to be applying for a pretty much a loan, like you're getting it from a dealer. You don't have to say you're buying it from a private party. Pretty much you put the amount of money that you want to get. LightStream, you got to have a 720 or better. I've tried with clients with lower credit scores. If you ain't got a 712. If you don't got a 712 or better, don't even worry about LightStream. But if you got some stuff, if you got all these items that we're talking about putting in credit, and they pull from TransUnion, which is good because the rent reporters, all those, a lot of these accounts, they all report to TransUnion and stuff. So we're going to learn which banks pull from which credit bureaus and stuff like that. But they pull from TransUnion, which means that you're able to just, as long as your TransUnion score is good, is a 712 or better, then you can go and apply. I'm going to show you the amount of income, because there's underwriting guidelines you got to put. I'm going to tell y'all something that's very important when it comes to auto loans. They don't, it's stated just like credit cards. You want a personal loan, they're going to look at your bank account. You can say you made $100,000, that's your household income. They're going to want to look at your bank account, log into your bank account, and see, is that the amount of money that you actually have coming in, versus you just putting it on an application saying, hey, I make $120,000 a year, and they just taking that as face value. With an auto loan, you can do that all day. The only thing they may ask for is a check stub, right? But for the most part is your credit profile is where your credit profile needs to be, and you stay within the guidelines that I'm going to give you. You don't have to worry about any of that. You apply and you're approved. So LightStream is a bank. They will literally wire their money to your account within the next 24 hours. And you just make your payments on it. They don't change. Like Navy Federal can convert their loan over to a personal loan and increase the interest rate, which I figured out a way. I haven't even disclosed this to the public. I haven't seen it in any groups or anything. I mean, I figured out a way to get that taken care of as well, just through looking at just understanding consumer laws and stuff. But they're going to give you that money, and you can take that money and use it to grow your whatever business or whatever it is you're trying to get into. I always have a plan for the money, but this is how you can get a jump start without having all the high limit credit cards, because that takes a little bit more time before we start applying for credit cards and different stuff like that to get the big boy credit cards, you know. But LightStream is definitely the next best, one of the next best choices. Now, there's also a bank by the name of PenFed. PenFed actually gives out auto loans, but I'm gonna tell y'all a PenFed loophole that I figured out that you can also do. Now, this only works if you do your research and you pretty much you buy right. So let's just say you got a client or you got a person that's close to you that y'all making money together. They want to build their credit too. Every part of the game that I just gave you, you add this stuff to the credit. An auto loan is like this, unless you had a recent repossession. Anybody can go get a car. Anybody. So you add these to the item to your credit profile, and you can get approved. With LightStream PenFed requires you to put like $5 into an account, like a savings account, like a donation, open up an account with them. You open up a PenFed account, then you got action to getting financed for a car through PenFed. But this is what you do. You can have somebody else do the same thing that has an account with PenFed. You added all these items to their credit profile, their credit score is up. Now, you go to Capital One. Capital One has something called Auto Navigator. If any of y'all ever heard of Auto Navigator by Capital One or got financed to Capital One? Well, pretty much what they do is you just go on there. It's a soft pull to the credit, pre-approval. They let you know how much you're approved for. They might approve you for $60,000, but remember, if you never paid off a car on your credit profile, then they're going to want a high down payment for that. But $20,000, $30,000 under, you can pretty much get that car for zero. You can pretty much go get you a car for zero down. Why is this important? Because remember, it's not about you. It's about you, but it's not about you always. Remember, the best way to grow in everything in life is to give back. So when I tell people, hey, I can get you a car within 45 days, it's because I'm going to show them how to add these accounts to the credit profile. By the time they report to the credit profile, now we can go to Capital One pre-approval, get them approved for an auto loan and get them a car. That's a gem right there that I just gave y'all. Because somebody that's already right now, there's going to be people through tax season, they're going to be ready to go and get them some new cars. They're about to go to these car lots and they're about to be taxed. But if they can hold off just a little bit longer, you can tell them, hey, look, you can give me $500 and I'll guarantee that you get a car for zero down. Versus you're going to go pay $2,000, $3,000 because your credit isn't right to go get a car. But I'm going to give you a selection of multiple cars you can get. You can look online to get these cars, and then you can just go pick the car up. The easiest process you've ever been through. Versus going to this lot and that lot and everybody giving them, and then they end up buying a limit anyways, you know? So you'll be able to help people out. So instead of them spending that $2,000, $3,000, they can just pay you $500. You already got the game. You run the play. They add positive stuff to their credit profile, and then they go and they get a car. But my kids is on the way here. So, but this is what you can do. You can go get you a car from Capital One, right? But you must make sure that you go look up the blue book value of the car and so on and so forth to make sure that when you get this car that it's that you're buying it undervalued, because there are going to be cars that you can buy undervalued. What do I mean undervalued? I mean that if there's a car for $15,000 on there, but you look up the blue book value of this car with the mileage and everything, you notice that this car actually can sell for $22,000. That is possible. You will find it. Trust me. That's a $7,000 gap. Remember, if somebody you can pretty much get a car for $30,000 and under without any car history on your credit profile at zero down, especially when we're using a credit union. So this is how you make money. And this is a little more strategic play. This is new information that I'm giving out. Like I say, I actually figured this out on an accident. you know, and now that I figured it out, I've been able to make money off of it because I know how to put the plays together, and you'll be able to do the same thing. This might seem foreign to you. I'm about to give y'all this play, but you can definitely run this play. I got a PenFed account. You just went and bought a car from Capital One for $15,000, but it's worth $20,000. It only got to be 20, so it's worth $20,000. I apply for an auto loan from PenFed because I got an account. You've helped me put all these positive accounts on my credit profile. I can go get approved for this auto loan. Bet. So PenFed say, hey, we can approve you up to $30,000. Do you got the car? Yeah, I'm gonna buy it from a private seller. You are the private seller that I'm buying a car from. You only paid $15,000 for this car, but the car can go for $20,000. The thing about it is that they approve me for up to $30,000. They don't know what upgrades or anything been done to that car. They never come out and look at the car, anything like that. But you sell me the car you just got from Capital One for $22,000. What happens? PenFed writes a check to Capital One because they're the financiers for $15,000. They also write you a check for $7,000. Now you might say, well, why would I want to buy a car from you for $7,000 more than what it's actually worth? Well, it's actually worth that amount, but you only paid $15,000 for. Why would I do that? Because now you just put me in position to get a car, right, and make some money. Because even though you made that $7,000, you can say, hey, we're gonna make this money. We're gonna split it down the middle, so we'll both split $3,500. But this is the benefit from you for doing that. You can even give them more. I've gave people more than what the actual split was because this is how it benefits me. Once that $15,000 car is paid off on your credit profile, you just moved up to the next auto tier. When you're buying cars, this is how you go from smaller, cheaper cars to Lamborghinis, right? This is how I went from a $12,000 Cadillac to a $70,000 Mercedes-Benz. Bless its heart, even though it burned up on me. But this is how you do this play. And now the next tier is the Lamborghinis, the Bentleys and stuff without having to go through a lot, without having to put a whole lot of money, an arm and a leg down, without having to show all these income, like none of that. But you have different car tiers. So now, once you pay out this $15,000 car, now you just increase yourself to the $50,000 car limit without a high down payment or zero down. I did zero down for my Mercedes, my Porsche. I didn't put nothing on these cars. These cars were $70K. Where the Porsche was 60, but the Mercedes was 70, and it was literally go in the lot. I want this car. What? Pull a credit report. What do you want to put down? Nothing. Just by understanding the auto tiers. So now, from that car you just got paid off on your credit profile, it allows you to go and get a car all the way up to $50,000. That's a major benefit from you, and it's an auto loan that's paid off on your credit. So you make some money, auto loan paid off on your credit, help a customer get a car. It doesn't get any better than that. And then when you know how to just keep going down there, keep like flipping that same thing like that, because that customer can sell a car to somebody, go on, so on and so forth. But now you just put yourself in a position to go get a $50,000 car, right? But you're buying it at less. And then somebody else is going to come along and want a car, and they may got a better credit score than just a new credit score, and you literally can show them, hey, you can just buy this. You can pick the car that they want, and you can find it, just give them an option. But literally, you can take yourself up the auto tier way faster by understanding that game. But that's a play that you can use to make money. It's called the PenFed loophole. I gave it my own name because I created the play. But you literally can use this, and it gives you taking that gap to make money by helping other people get cars, because people are going to need cars. And if you tell them, hey, open up this PenFed account, you're pretty much setting them up in a 30-day process of actually building this other stuff onto their credit, where now you're going straight to Capital One and you're getting the car to sell to them. And then you make money off of it. So that's like three different. Well, Navy Federal is one. Like I say, they're more strategic on it. They're more involved in the process now. But Lightstream, PenFed is all plays. Capital One, that's a play that you can definitely use for any of your clients, anybody that you know that want to get a car that's going to go out here and pay all this money for these cars, that you can literally just help take these same positive items we just talked about, add them to their credit profile. And once you add them to their credit profile, they can get a car 30, 45 days. You know, the rent reporters only takes like 7 days to hit. So they already got some stuff on their credit. They may just need that extra 40 to 70 point boost. Also, another way you're going to be able to make money, a lot of these companies that I just gave to you, they're going to have links. Scroll to the bottom of these pages and they're going to say partner with us. when you partner with these companies, they're going to pretty much give you a commission anytime somebody uses your particular link to set up an account with these companies. So when you're dealing with clients and you're sending these people these links and you can make passive income, coming in just out there. You'll be surprised how many people I've sent links to within a year that I made money in. And they're not paying like a high amount of money. They're paying like $10, $15, $25 per customer that signs up. But over the process of a year, that actually adds up to a whole nother investment.
Mm-hmm.
So there's multiple ways within this class. I know y'all gonna go back and y'all gonna look at it that you can make money. But the reason that I wanted to do this class first, because I wanted to give y'all those plays off the muscle, but I want y'all to understand, hey, you can start building your credit, but also there's gonna be people out here that's already in position credit-wise that you can literally help them out, and it helps you make money and get your business going.
Mm.
Everybody has an average of 250 numbers and people contacts in our phone. Out of those 250 people, if you don't think, well, this person might not do it, or that person might do it, you just literally reach out to everybody and ask them, hey, are you looking to build your credit? Are you looking to get finance for a loan? Are you looking to get finance for a car? You send that message to everybody in your phone, I guarantee you're gonna make some money every month. That's not social media marketing, and they're gonna do word of mouth. I get a lot of client base now off of just word of mouth or the work that I've done for people. So that's gonna be a trickle down effect that's gonna keep going. But that's how you start if you're the person to say, hey, I don't want to market my business on social media yet, because people are not going to think that that's me, or whatever the situation is. I'm just telling you, like just your phone contacts alone is a bag. You got a bag in your phone right now. You don't even it now, but you didn't even know it. You got a bag in your phone. So that's pretty much the class for tonight, which is credit building. Thursday, we're going to go over the financial literacy side of stuff, which we're going to go over. I want to show you guys some strategies to kill debt. And I'm not talking about the normal ways that we've heard. We're going to go over the normal ways, but it's going to be outside the normal ways. I'm going to show you some crazy stuff you can utilize credit cards with, even if it's a secured credit card, that's going to allow you to kill debt and own all your assets. Do anybody got any questions over just the information we went over tonight? I don't want to put too much. I know there's a lot of information, but I don't want to go, but as far as what we did tonight, is there any questions about anything that we talked about?
Yeah, that PenFed, what was it? How you spell that? PenFed?
Yeah, PenFed, yes.
All right, bet.
And you definitely want to get a bank account with them. Like I say, I'm gonna show you how the bank accounts, the banks that you want to go to off the rip. I'm gonna give y'all websites that you can go to, and you can figure out what banks are lending and stuff like that. I'm not just gonna sit here and give y'all the information and say, hey, PenFed or Navy Federal. Like, I'm giving you that information, but even after the mentorship, if I decided, hey, I don't want to do credit stuff anymore, I'm gonna show you where to go fish at, where to go get the information from, the new and updated information. And you may run across more information than I run across, because a lot of places come up, because I'm not always on the forums looking at what's the next bank and stuff like that, but I'm gonna give you the actual places you can go and get that information.
All right, cool.
Let me look in the chat, make sure I don't have any messages came on, nobody typing anything. I haven't seen that. Already, no problem. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all for coming out and checking out the course, checking out the mentorship, listening to me speak. Trust me, it's gonna get way, way better. It's gonna get way more information. It's all a process. But definitely go out and add some of those items to your credit report if y'all need to. And don't forget that if you want that trade line, make sure y'all hit my DM so I can go ahead and start working on getting the information that you need for that rental trade line as soon as possible.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, appreciate y'all. Other than that, I'll see y'all on Thursday.
All right, cool.
Yes, yeah, Lonnie, you're gonna receive the recording. The recording, if you look on the calendar I sent you, the recording comes out within 24 to 48 hours, just depending on how everything goes on my end. But I'll get it over to you as soon as I possibly can. Try to get it over ASAP because of the amount of people that didn't show up to the class tonight. A lot of people did just want the recording, but it's way better to come inside of the group. It's just a different feeling from watching somebody. Just watching the course, by me talking to you, you're able to ask those questions that may come to your mind right then and there, versus having to reach out to me after you seen a recording when maybe that was something, if you would have been in class, you could have asked that question, right then and there. But anyways, everybody have a good night. Like I say, once again, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to get out this game. We can grow together. Till next time.
Already. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.